Welcome to Urban Teacher TV. My name is Mark, and today I'm going to be interviewing Teacher Toolkit Ross McGill on Urban Teacher TV. So, in terms of, because what you're doing in the blog atmosphere and across the whole community and education is actually, it's changing the tide. Now, is there any potential problems with this? Because if every teacher starts sharing their practice or starts to blog, and some of the things that they're blogging is inaccurate or not, just totally off point. Mm-hmm. What do you see in this space here? What's happening?
It's interesting. I think my best bit of blogging advice is just be true to yourself and choose a focus. You know, if I'm a technology teacher, I might want to just blog about what I'm doing in my classroom, resources for technology, schemes of work, things that would help other technology teachers. Yeah. As you grow with your experience in your career, you can start to, broaden your range of topics. Yeah. I just like to blog about teaching and learning. That's my soul. Yeah. That's what gets me excited. Yeah. And that's what I blog about most.
And a lovely question to ask is that, say for example, let's take you back to when you first started teaching. What would you tell a brand new teacher entering into the profession? Because we know there's a massive problem with teachers joining up. There's a massive shortage around teaching at the moment. Yeah. What would you tell a brand new teacher that wants to get into a little bit of blogging, wants to share their practice, but new into the profession too?
So new to the profession, I say, first of all, you're entering a very hard profession. Someone told me that when I first started years ago, and nothing's changed. It's exhausting. Until the government changes policy and gives teachers more time in the working day to mark and plan lessons, nothing will change. So we're all in a hard profession, and it's not going to change until that's fixed. All this rhetoric about workload and whatever else, it's just nonsense. That has got to change. The only way that's going to change is with a change of budgets and more allocation of funds to head teachers to allow the teachers to have less of a full timetable. So that's very high level stuff. I'm now in a position where I can blog about these ideas, and I can't see it happening in my career, sadly. Maybe in, who knows, 20, 30 years we might actually start to have some common sense.
I've definitely seen a massive kind of move in my kind of practice when I've got more time to plan and do something really creative outside of the box. But in terms of that new teacher coming into the profession, they want to start reaching out to people like yourself and start to
start a blog. Going back to your original question, you get divided counts, so everyone's got different views, and you're all entitled to that. And ultimately, you'll source your own readership based on the content, and you've got to keep it consistent. Yeah. It's got to be of good quality, and it's got to have value in the classroom. If it doesn't, people aren't going to read what you want to share. People will be, through the social media circles, you're recommended and retweeted and all those kind of things, and the stats can speak for itself. And ultimately, what you read, if it engages you, then it's going to work, and you'll keep coming back to that source. I always remind everybody, I started off with one follower and one blog and one reader. And if I didn't keep that up, then Teacher Toolkit wouldn't be what it is today. That's not the reason I do it. I've always blogged because I like to reflect and unwind, and I still do that today. And that's why I get so much content out, because I've now mastered the art of blogging quicker, using all the tools that are available. And that's how I do it.
So Ross, I'm really excited about this brand new book that you've launched recently. Why did you come up with it?
Well, my first book was very popular, 100 Ideas. It was an outcome of my blog. The Bloomsburys asked me to write the book. Very flattering considering my literacy background. It's sold thousands and thousands of copies. Again, quite surprising. Yeah. But the content allowed me to share what I'm really passionate about. Lots and lots of ideas. Yeah. So because of the popularity, I was obviously given another chance to write a second book. This time, because it wasn't part of a series or a dedicated format, I literally had the chance to redesign every aspect of a book, the layout, the fonts, the cover. So it was a real great experience, but I wanted to address the first 5 years of the profession, because recruitment retention is a hot topic at the moment. We need to get good quality teachers into the profession, but we also need to keep the teachers that we've got. But I believe the first 5 years are vital, so that the book's designed in such a way that through the 5 chapters, the first chapter is about being resilient. Yeah. It's a blooming hard job to do. Yeah. So I talk about resilience quite a lot, and some strategies, and about being tough, and all this nonsense about don't smile to Christmas. I kind of look at all these different myths and talk about various workload strategies. that enable someone to just survive this first crucial year.
Because when I was reading that, I think it gives a massive insight into teaching, because I think if you looked from the teaching profession from from the glass bowl, you think that's an easy job. You just walk in there, the kids are in tune, all of your team is as you would think it is. But I think within the book, it kind of actually opens that up a bit more and takes a real snapshot. It's similar to what you do with your blogs in the teaching profession.
So section 2, I share lots of my own horror stories, times when I wanted to leave myself, times when I've been bullied, and sadly these things exist. You've got 1 million educators in the UK, nearly 500,000 just in England alone. So a lot of people, a huge workforce, and we're working with millions and millions of kids. So we've got to get it right. We've got to keep the right people in the classroom. We've got to attract the right people in the classroom. So section 1 is about being resilient and being tough. Once you master, you secure your first year, you can start to think more cognitively about your teaching. So chapter 2 is about intelligence and tweaking things to make it smarter, because you get an increased timetable. You have more demands on your time. There's less flexibility because you've done it and you can survive, and you're in your second year now. Once you can master that, then the next stage is innovation. You start to take risks. So you try your ICT gadgets in the classroom, you start to sign up for different things across the school. And again, then in your fourth year, you start to share ideas. So the fourth chapter is called collaboration, where you're asked to do CPD, or you might lead CPD in your department or with other people, or go to CPD in other schools, all sorts of different things. And then pretty much the fifth year, between the third and fifth year is when people start to get responsibilities. So that's the last section is called aspirational, where people want to aspire into the next phase of the career, middle leadership. So I hope the next book after will address the next 5 years, which is your middle leadership careers. I was a head of department for 8 years. I was a main scale teacher for the first 3. I was a head of department very young, and then I became an assistant head after a good 8 years as a middle leader. So I think, I would be a typical route.
And I think that what's so fascinating about yourself is that you've gone through the whole kind of food chain in education.
Yeah, I have.
Now you're a deputy head teacher. How does life feel being in that role for the last couple of years?
Well, it's my second year. It's still very new. I'm absolutely loving it here at Quinton Kynaston. We have 1,400 students, 200 staff. It's a big job. We have lots to do. The school's full of history. The kids are fantastic. Our facilities in this brand new building is just phenomenal. I've never worked in a brand new building in all my career, so I love turning up to work. It's very early days. We've been in this new building 9 months. We're still waiting for our playground to open up and be complete, the AstroTurfs and things. So we've still got a huge kind of world of excitement to come.
And also the Urban Teacher Centre with all of the innovative tech and stuff to happen.
So we've got all that to come yet. And we did a teach meet here, and I think my blogging gives me the privilege to put the school a bit more on the map, and the school deserves to be, because we've had a couple of tough years. Staff are brilliant, kids are even better, and we're going places, so it's a school to watch.
And the thing that I really liked is that you really laid down a marker here by actually running a Teach Me. And for those people that are still new to Teach Me, what is that about, and how did you kind of get it to here and get such a good turnout?
Well, as a CPD leader, it's pretty easy for me to organise a Teach Me, because organising an inset day, or a very high quality inset day that's differentiated and allows staff to choose workshops rather than just one size all at the front PowerPoint thing, it's pretty easy to organise those kind of stuff. So Teach Me to do it for fun in my own time with a bunch of people that want to be there is just a very exciting thing to do. My first Teach Me was 2011. I put it off for a couple of years before that. But I eventually went to Tom Sherrington, head guru teacher at his school at the time when he was working up in Chelmsford. I spoke about SLT Chat then when it first started, and that's now an established Twitter page. And it went from there, and I went to one, and then I organised one straight after in the school where I was working at the time, Greg City Academy, and it's gone from there. And I thought, well, QK, we need some good stuff going on here. My social media profile, pretty easy to organise. I got 300 teachers during the Easter holidays of all the time of year. It just proved people are hungry for good quality CPD. 300 people in the room, 15 different presentations, trended across the UK on Twitter for 4 hours. It was just a brilliant event, so we're doing it again.
Because I see so many things positive coming from yourself, and even picking up on the point of the SLT chat that runs every Sunday night at 8 p.m. GMP time. I think that's been a really kind of key for a lot of head teachers across the UK.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Well, that started again when I was a new assistant head 8 years ago. I thought, well, I'm doing Teacher Toolkit. Let's come up with another channel called SLT Chat, Senior Leadership Chat, because I could see UK Ed Chat was brilliant. Again, it was a missed opportunity, so it popped up. I think it trended straight away. I think I did it on a Friday night initially, and I thought, well, I need to do what works for me if I'm going to be doing this every week. And I literally led the chat for the first 2 or 3 years every Sunday on top of my senior leadership job. So Sunday I'd be tied up to the computer tweeting away, and it's grown, and now I've got an executive team, as it were, helping log in and organise different hosts, organising the tweets. We've had Nicky Morgan, Ofsted, Off-Call, everyone get involved, and it's a powerful Twitter channel now, and it's pretty respected, and it also allows people to sit on the sidelines, NQTs even, to just see what leadership teams are discussing up and down the country. And the amount of people that said it's helped me get a job, it's helped me connect with X, Y, Z, policy documents be communicated through the channel in advance. It's only going to get stronger. Again, for me, it's my own personal workload, so it's nice to have a team of helpers.
And the thing that I kind of is seeing in this space is this organic collaboration.
Yeah.
And what we had a conversation earlier about how does the future look in terms of this organic collaboration, because I think probably from the systems that we're using before, where we're using forums to deliberate on different type of things that's happening in our practice, now we're seeing it shift to social network and all of different types of platforms where people are just communicating and telling that story.
I don't know where it's going to go, but I do remember very clearly the DFE saying they cannot connect with school leaders across the country, which is quite frightening. And that's why they respect SLT Chat, because I know because it's grassroots and it's in our control and it's on our terms. So that's why they get involved when they need to communicate key policies, because they know several hundred people are going to be looking at the channel, and then it's going to be viewed 1,000 times more. And on various big events, if Nicky Morgan's going to be tweeting, then it might trend across the UK, which it does quite frequently. So these grassroots movements where teachers have a voice, it's put education in a whole new kind of hemisphere of discussion and dialogue. I don't know where it's going to go in the next few years. It's still very early days for us all. I've been doing it 5 years now. SLT Chat is 3 years old. What's going to look like in 10
most
years?
people think that this has been around for such a long time, but one thing I do see coming out of this space is that the way education is going and the spotlight on it at the moment, with teachers going online and showing practice and telling them of the different good and bad things of education, I think that will give the public a clearer light on the profession and probably give it a bit more respect.
We now have an opportunity to control our own destiny. SLT Chat, writing our books, blogging and tweeting, the amount of audience and the traffic that I get, not saying I can dictate stuff, but I can gather thoughts. And we can all do that, because again, I had one follower, one reader, one tweet. I've just been doing it longer and consistently. But there's a great saying: if teachers can organise themselves, we can move policy, and we can. We only need to look at lesson gradings, for example. The famous 5 getting an Ofsted HQ was a first. And there's been lots of that and loads of roundtables. And the danger now with Twitter and whatever else, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes through direct messages and private stuff, where you're not quite sure how people get on round tables or how this policy's published. So at least we still have a place where we can voice stuff, but I do fear that policymakers might cherry pick particular groups, individuals, and we have to remain true to ourselves. We have to remember, as teachers, we are in control of our own profession now, and we need to keep it that way. And we need the policy, and we have to follow education law and things like that. So
I think I've seen in the past where you see people starting to promote stuff, and you question it: is it coming from them? Is it coming from some kind of other source? And I think that you're right. I think to actually push this thing that we're doing forward, we need to keep authentic, we need to keep genuine, and we need to keep truthful.
Yeah.
If someone's actually helping us or pushing us to do something, we need to actually state that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. You know, anyone that wants to blog, well, I won't say anything specific, but it becomes pretty transparent if someone is promoting a certain ideology, and it's then echoed by a government minister the next day or something like that. It's pretty obvious. But like you said, as long as we're true to ourselves, we're authentic. That's where you're going to get the voices of the teachers, and it's that then we then need to put in the hands of the media and policymakers to big up the profession and to get more quality teachers in. I mean, plus stop us leaving.
So Ross, it's been excellent interviewing you, and I'm really excited to actually catch up with you because, as I said, I just don't know how you do it, and hopefully reading that blog tonight is going to give me a bit more clarity on how you do this, and probably one day I can be Urban, aka Teacher Toolkit, and
you know, my job comes first. Well, I shouldn't say that. My family's first, but I love what I do, and I love my job, and it is exhausting, just like any person working in education. The Teacher Toolkit is I've just got to a stage where I can now make it work for me, and I've learnt various tools and platforms and devices, so I don't literally have to be in front of a computer when I get home blogging and tweeting. That's not what happens. So if you read that blog, how do I do it? I've just published it today. You'll see a kind of insight into the mechanism I use. For example, I might blog about this event here. It's just a 20-minute exercise for me on the way home, and the blog's up the next day. So
Ross, thank you for giving a genuine voice today, and I hope that this is going to inspire more educators to have a glimpse of what you're doing and how we can actually further the education, especially in the UK and in Great Britain, and how we can actually push this by giving a genuine voice to the public and also teach across the profession. So thank you for joining Urban Teacher TV.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, folks.